Hey everyone, welcome back, and I am here to do a reading upon the government shutdown. I haven't done one yet on it. I know that we have all been waiting and wondering when the government was going to open. We kind of knew it was going to happen in terms of the shutdown. Well, actually, we didn't, and then, it appeared that Trump was going to go along with it, and then it appears that some news anchors have convinced him otherwise, and now we are sitting here in day 9 of the shutdown. What I find is not interesting, I find it very sad, is that he doesn't care that people are being hurt by this, financially hurt, and people are unable to pay their bills. There's articles out there of the government telling them to go and do work for the landlord to pay for their bills. I find it very interesting that there's so much apathy towards the people. It's just strange. So I want to do a reading on the shutdown. I just want to know where it's going. I don't know. I'm really bad with timing. That's just my personal way when I read the cards. I'm like, timing can be really off for me. If it does show up, I'll say what the cards say, but I don't know when the shutdown is going to end. It looks like there's some give going, and then it just depends on which news source you're watching. Some say that the shutdown is not if he doesn't get his demand for the wall, and others are saying that he's lowering his demands. The Democrats have already sent over like 3 different versions of the bill, and he's rejected them all. So I don't know. I mean, he's trying to blame the Democrats when really it's him. He did it himself. A bipartisan bill went to him, and he said no. So let's just see where that's going. Let's see if it will reveal when the shutdown's going to happen. Let's see how it's affecting things, and I want to just know where it's going from here. Okay, you guys are as curious as I am. Let's see what we can find out. Okay, let us get started. And yes, it's not quite the new year yet, and I'm going to try to do a couple more readings, get back into the groove of things, get back going again. All right, here we go. Government shutdown. Where is it going? What is it doing? What's going to happen? Oh, I wish this Trump nightmare would be over. All right. Let's see what we got. Let us see where we're going. Government shutdown. Where's it going? Where's it heading? I can see a 5 of Pentacles. It's just, people being left out in the cold. Those are obvious. But nobody cares. There's so much happening. I mean, I don't know how any tarot reader can keep up with all the events. If you're a current events tarot reader, I just don't know how you can keep up. But there's just always, every day, something crazy. All right, let's see what this border wall thing is doing. All right. Here we go. Loss. But loss for who? Loss for everybody. This is a loss for everybody. Disappointment all around. I would literally, this is loss for everybody, okay? This is loss for the government. It's loss for the people. It's loss for the workers who are not getting their money. It's just loss in all fronts. Everybody is losing in this, and the person that could stop it don't care. So the one person that can stop it just don't care. And here we are. So this is overarching the entire reading is loss. Loss on every front. There is no winners in this situation. There are opportunities in the background, but nobody's looking at that. They're looking at this. If you're going to look at symbolism, you get this person who is just there's this river. Let's just say that would be Mexico over there, this United States. And there's this wall that nobody's looking at. And there's this empty space. And like, there's no wall there. We're in trouble. So they're so focused on one small thing, not realizing the damage it's doing to every place, everywhere, to everybody. There's so much damage happening. There is opportunities behind them, but nobody's seeing those because they're so focused on one thing, So we are sitting at loss in the overarching, okay? So let's move into the past. So, okay, this is the word. This is the Page of Cups is oftentimes the good word, right? It's the good word coming forward. But when you're looking at the context of this shutdown, okay, there was agreements. There was everything. There was a bipartisan bill. It was heading to the president. He said he was going to sign it. And then suddenly he watched the news, right? He got some word to say, be done. I would look at this more like this. Because the government got shut down and because it follows the loss card. I would look at this in a more negative light. I would not look at this as a positive good word situation. I'd look at this that he received word and he shut the government down. He received word from the news people who apparently are running our country and not the president, right? Okay. So presently, it's karma. We're in the Wheel of Fortune. So here we are. The Wheel of Fortune has arrived. It's here again now. It's in the present. So they're talking about karmic situations. This is the karma of the United States, of the presidency, of everything that's happening. We are dealing with the fates. We are dealing with the wheel. The wheel is turning. There is no stopping it. No matter how much you want to try to stop it, the wheel will turn. Are you going to make it the best of it, or is it going to cause calamity? Right now, because it sits right underneath the loss, we are suffering the calamity of the shutdown. Okay? And we're going to have to work through it and try to get past it and try to move, get our government to do something. The person that's sitting on the top could stop it. And he has no intentions of stopping it because he literally is like crossing his arms, crossing his legs, throwing a temper tantrum, and he's just refusing to budge. We'll see where that goes. I'm not sure. We will just have to figure it out. But this is a karmic situation. This just showed up for the United States plenty of times in all of the readings. This is America has to figure out who America wants to be. Who do we want to be? Are we a democracy, or are we becoming, are we letting the person in the White House completely ramshot over everything? We do have checks and balances, but why is nobody checks and balancing? There's a lot of things, but we do also know that since we are still in holiday season and there are emergency sessions going on, and we also have new incoming, people who have been elected are now incoming. So we have this new blood coming in. There's going to be a lot of issues. It's going to be discovering who we are as a country, and we are currently reflecting right now as people and as a nation. Who are we? Who are we? Are we going to allow this guy who's at the top that's causing all this stuff? Are we going to allow this person define who we are? We do have power. We just need to figure out who we are and what we want to be. Okay? The challenge is the presidency. Here we go. This is the emperor, okay? This is the emperor, and this guy is usually, he's in control. He's the father of this deck, okay? But when we're talking politics, Trump usually shows up as the Nine of Cups, okay? But when we're talking about the presidency itself, the presidency in my particular readings always shows up as the emperor. So the presidency, the White House itself is a challenge. They are being challenged. It is a challenge. This government shutdown, they're literally the blocking points. So the challenge would be the White House, okay? Would be the presidency. It is Trump. Trump is in that presidency, but, we're going to talk about that because that would probably mean that if it's not Trump that's there, we're talking about the presidency itself, as he is using the power of the presidency to cause this havoc, Okay. What is the outcome? We are going to be in discussions. They are in discussions and they are looking for solutions. So right now they're looking for solutions. They are trying to talk. Here's the thing. It's like these people are talking to the White House, right? Because it's right there. He's looking at it. So you have the people talking to the White House, trying to get something to happen. They're trying to make some decisions. It is happening. There is no decision yet. It's just they're talking. They know the world is watching. The world is watching. I mean, we are in our third shutdown in this particular, was it for this year? Or is it for this whole presidency? I can't remember. These guys are using our government, the lives of people who work for the government, who give their services to the people, to shut the government down. It was just recently announced that Trump is all the raises that for federal workers except military have been frozen due to economic reasons. But then, he immediately will turn around and say, and he's been touting for a long time that the economy is the greatest it's ever been. So then why are we freezing people's wages? Why are you now shutting down the government and forcing people to not get paid? Now they can't pay their bills, or they're going to have to dip into their savings, or they're going to have to go into emergency funds if they have emergency funds. So the world is watching. The world is watching this calamity. But this is a fated thing. This is stuff that the United States has to go through in order to figure out who they are, where they're going, what's going to happen with them, okay? So, it doesn't say that the government shutdown is over. It says there's no decisions yet. They are still speaking. They're trying to speak to the presidency. It's a fated thing, and we know in the past, this is, Trump getting word that, hey, you should just shut the government down. See how fun that will be. And we are all sitting at loss. So let's build upon this story. Let's move forward and see where we go from here. Okay. Well, working together. So in political readings, this could be dark money, but I don't want to go there because this would probably be, to me, the Democrats and the Republicans were working together to put together a proposal to keep the government open, right? To avert a shutdown. So this would be them two working together, those two sides working together to come to a proposal, and they worked together and they got one. They presented it to the president, but he got word from his TV to shut it down, and he did. And he shut it down, and now we sit in loss. Okay? So let's look at this presently. We are sitting in a fated situation. Rest. Death. So I will tell you right now, just from this particular card, this is rest before the battle. This is also, if there was any new proposal that was just brought forward, it's dead on arrival, okay? Anything that the Congress will send to the president, I don't care what it is. If it has no funding for the wall, it's dead on arrival. He is taking a stand. Regardless of how it's affecting the country, he's taking a stand. Anything brought to him right now is dead on arrival. This is rest. So this is showing me that there is presently, the end to the government shutdown is not in sight, okay? The challenge is the word, is the night. The night, okay. The challenge is for him to get what he wants, okay? This is the presidency. This is the challenge, is for him to get what he wants. They're undecided. They don't want to give the wall. Nobody wants to give the wall. There's very few people. He doesn't have enough senators. He doesn't have enough Republicans. I know he's blaming the Democrats because, in order to do a veto override, he would have to get, they could do a veto override. Literally, if the Republicans and the Democrats in the Senate, I think you can override the president's veto, and they could if they just get in and vote. And I think you have to have a supermajority in order to override the president's veto. It is possible. I don't even know why they're not using it. So, but there is no. The president's not getting what he wants. The word isn't coming for what he wants. This is his challenge. He wants something and it's not coming. The people want resolution and they want the government back open. It's not coming. So this is a challenge. There is the word that they want is not coming. What the president wants is not coming. So we're suffering loss all around. Okay. In the future, let's see where this is heading. There is going to be a compromise at some point. Okay. There's going to be a compromise. So there is word that he is backing down. Instead of $5 billion, he wants $2.5 billion. There is words of compromise coming in. The people are getting tired. Okay. The people are getting tired, and they're using the United States like playthings. We're a country. We're not, don't be using us as your pawns. These are us. These are the government people, right? And they're doing all of this. These are us. This is the normal people of the United States. We're being used as pawns in their thing. It's almost like, I mean, I hate it. It's almost like, people in like divorce situations, in a really bad, nasty divorce situation where children are involved. Sometimes the parents, and there's such anger and resentment towards each other during the proceedings, they use their children as pawns, as weapons against each other. So if you really look at it from the perspective of, the government, when you're dealing with the government, they are using us people, us, the United States citizens, as pawns in their little games that they're playing up here. And they're harming everybody. Okay? So, but it does reveal there's going to be some sort of compromise coming up. Some sort of compromise, but don't be fooled by this using us as pawns. The government the United States of America really needs to figure out who we are. We were built upon as a government for the people, by the people, but it's not working that way right now. So right now, anything that arrives is dead on arrival. Okay, let's move on. Temperance. All right. So in the past, we've been asked for temperance. So if you're looking at the building of this before Christmas, right? You had the Republicans and the Democrats. They were tempering themselves. They were building a bill. They were building a spending bill to keep the government open, right? They were building it. They were working together. They were tempering themselves, working together to come to some sort of bipartisanship deal, which they did, and brought it to the president. And he was almost going to sign it, but then he got word from his people on the news that he shouldn't, and he didn't, and then we are stuck here. So I would just say this is the creation of the bill that would have kept the country open, or all of it, instead of being a partial shutdown. This would have happened, but it didn't because of this, right? All right, so let's look here presently. So the Chariot. Okay, so the Chariot. This is a kind of a weird thing, don't you think? The Chariot talks about this forward motion, this forward jog, this pushing forward, okay? But then you have this Four of Swords, which is rest. So you've got this weird thing of like something is charging forward, but we're at rest. This could be the bills that the Senate is sending over, saying, "Well, here's one. So there's some furious activity to try to create something that this guy likes. But like I said, anything that arrives at him is dead on arrival. So maybe something's going to come through, but that we're not seeing right now. But I think this is the flurry of activity that's happening. It gets to the president, and it's dead on arrival. And it's put into rest, but we're sitting in a fated situation where we have the loss overarching. So a lot of times when you look at the Chariot is the quick forward motion, towards victory. But if you are sitting in with so much negativity, you could put this in the negative sense that victory is not assured yet. Okay, it's delayed. It's not happening right away because it continues hitting this dead on arrival type card, right? So I think there's some activity of the senators, the House, and people trying to put something together to get it forward, to present new bills, but it keeps hitting a dead end here. So, but it seems like with Temperance and Chariot here, that there could be some, you know, tempering. Something is coming afoot. So there could be some tempering, some movement is going to start happening soon, because you got two good cards right here, right in the past into the present here. So let's see what the challenge is. Change, death. Oh boy. Okay, so the challenge is to put an end to the government shutdown. End it. Kill it. Be done. Be done with the shutdown, to bring it out into moving forward again. So the challenge is going to be this. This will also indicate this is, you know, a death of the, you know, I would really love it to be the death of using the government shutdown as a way to, as a token, as a pawn in their schemes for their deals that they try to make. I would love to see this be the end of that, the end of that. We need to have a functioning government. You shouldn't be putting people's lives, you know, their livelihoods at risk because you're like, oh, sorry, I'm going to shut you down. You're not going to get paid, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck, because the majority of us are living paycheck to paycheck. Not these guys at the top, but the majority of us are. So, but there is, the challenge is death. And it could be really anything, because death is something that is inevitable. It is going to happen usually. It's not something that we have control over. I would probably say that this death could very much have much more involved, right? It could be much more involved in terms of these politicians that are causing this. They're going to have, you know, if they don't do anything, it is going to be the death of their position, the death of their career, the death of their, you know, the death of their policy. So, or it could even be the death of their approval ratings. It could be many things. I'm not talking about physical death here. So right now I'm sitting with 3 majors. This is a huge thing. The Fate card sits here. So this is definitely a thing. We as the United States have to determine who we are as a people. We do have things that are capable of overriding all of this stuff that's been used before to override a veto, but nobody's using it. These are all possible. Okay, so we're supposed to have checks and balances, but we're just allowing him to ramshot everything. So, all right, outcome. Judgment. All right. I have 4 majors here. This is huge. Okay, judgment is going to fall. We will get judgment. Judgment will happen. This that's going on, anybody who is behind causing suffering to the people will have judgment. Okay. Oh boy. This is big. There's 4 majors sitting right here. 4 majors. And because these are all majors, I'm not moving any further forward. Judgment will fall. Justice will be served. Judgment will happen. There are big things coming for the new year. It looks like to me, now, like I said, I can't do timing very well, but it appears to me that in the near future, in the new year, the government will open up. And it's going to happen probably, I mean, there's no like after the new year and stuff, but just from the energy of these cards is that with Temperance, with the Chariot, with movement moving, there's going to be an end, but it's a challenge to get to that end, but judgment will fall. It tells me that we will, the shutdown isn't going to last too much longer. How much longer? How many days, minutes, hours? I can't see that. If somebody else, when you're looking at these cards, can see something, by all means, say something, because I'm not great with timing. But all I can see is that there's movement. This is all energies that are going to be forcing these people forward. It's not going to stop. They have no control over the final outcome. Judgment will fall. So whatever anybody is doing, judgment's going to fall. So we are sitting at loss. Anything that's going to the trip president right now is dead on arrival. no matter what. But something will happen that will will cause judgment and probably will open things back up. There's going to be a compromise that's coming. Like I said, I don't know how fast it's going to be coming. I mean, if you're looking at cards, you've got 6 and 2. I mean, it'd be 6 to 8 days. I'm making wild guesses here. So if you are good at tarot and you can do numbers out of all of this, please let me know what you think. But I definitely see an end is coming. This is a big deal. People are going to judge. They're going to judge harshly. It is not good because these are all major cards. So whatever motion is coming forward, it will push forward. It will push forward, but death is here. There's going to be changes. Changes are coming. There's going to be a new birth. This old is going to go away because judgment is here. So, all right. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I will be back soon. So how this government shutdown is going to play out, it's going to be an interesting. So, all right. We will talk to you soon. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.